Something absolutely stunning just happened in deep red Texas, and it's not what the Democrats or the legacy media were prepared for. The radical socialists that they were grooming as the next squad star just got humiliated at the ballot box. Establishment Republicans were shaken to their core, and MAGA-style populism is quietly, steadily rewriting the political map in the Lone Star State. Gang, what went down in Texas last night is nothing short of a political earthquake, and it's sending shockwaves through both parties from Austin to D.C. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you make sense of the madness with breaking news and analysis you're not going to get anywhere else. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. In the highest profile Democrat Senate primary in the country, the media's darling, the radical leftist Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, the one who made a name for herself screaming at Republicans in House hearings, just got taken out by a relatively unknown state representative, James Tallarico. Tallarico didn't just squeak by. He shocked the entire Democrat apparatus in Texas. He ran on the nice, soft-spoken, seminary-trained, cardigan-wearing alternative to Crockett's combative ghetto girl persona. And Democrat voters went with Tallarico. Well, at least the white Democrat voters, as expected, Crockett won upwards of, in the super 90 percentiles of black voters, the vast majority of non-white voters. But my, oh my, Tallarico got massive margins with white voters in Travis County, that's where Austin is, and Williamson, all the rural counties. They gave him the margins he needed to overcome Crockett's leads in places like Dallas County. And needless to say, Jasmine is big upset. She's big mad. She's having a bit of a meltdown over this.
So that's my news, is that we're not going to have election results tonight, in my opinion, based upon what specifically is taking place in Dallas County. Unfortunately, this is what Republicans like to do. And so they specifically targeted Dallas County, and I think we all know why. So I want you to enjoy yourselves, but I won't be back tonight because I have no idea of when we're going to get results, and I fully anticipate it won't be until tomorrow. So I love y'all too.
What sad little idiots. Oh, we love you. We love you. So according to Ghetto Girl, the Republicans rigged the Democrat primary. We love the woman who just stood up there and said that the Republicans rigged her. She's running against another Democrat, but it's the Republicans who rigged the election. I mean, I'm going to miss her. I'm going to miss her. I'm going to miss that kind of borderline illiteracy that so perfectly represents the brain drain of the Democrat Party. But that said, Tallarico will provide plenty of entertainment given how woke and far left he is. I don't think the Republicans are going to have a very hard time making mincemeat out of this.
Our southern border should be like our front porch. There should be a giant welcome mat out front. Before we go further, I want to acknowledge that our trans community needs abortion care too. Defending trans Texans is something we have to do every day. Is both masculine and feminine and everything in between. God is non-binary.
Yeah, good luck selling that in Texas. I mean, Ghetto Girl would have been a lot more fun, but good luck with that. Good luck convincing a majority of Texans to vote for the guy who says we should put a welcome mat out on the southern border. I mean, good luck. Good luck getting border counties to vote for you saying that. Now, in terms of who will be his opponent, Republicans in Texas had a bit of their own civil war last night. The populists made some pretty good moves. First, of course, is the blockbuster Senate primary on the GOP side, four-term Senator John Cornyn versus grassroots-backed, but unfortunately a bit scandal-plagued Ken Paxton, over $120 million in ad spending. Neither one could crack 50%, so now we're headed to a runoff. that might be the most explosive Republican showdown in the country. Cornyn slightly edged out Paxton in the first round last night, shocking a lot of pollsters who had him trailing, some even by double digits. But runoffs are MAGA territory, so lower turnout, more ideological voters, a lot of fired up Paxton loyalists who see this as a referendum, the old Bush-era neocon GOP. Remember, Bush is from the Bush family. Well, Bush family is originally from Maine, but came on down to Texas. So, or originally from New England and came down to Texas. So anyway, the establishment survived the first punch here, but the second round is where populists do tend to hit back the hardest. We will see if Trump endorses. That will be very, very interesting. Does he want to play it safe and endorse Cornyn, or is he like, look, there's, Texas is a Trump plus 14 state. Let's go. The Republican is going to win, so why not go with the kind of Republican that always be on your side, like Paxton? Then there were the House races, where the old guard really got crushed. I mean, the biggest prize of the night was Dan Crenshaw. Oh, good old eye patch McCain, the incessant critic of MAGA and the populist base. He is gone. He lost his primary decisively to conservative state representative Steve Toth. Toth ran unapologetically to Crenshaw's right. I mean, he is your perfect quintessential Texas representative. He lined up with Trump-aligned figures. He hammered Crenshaw for his constant lectures against the MAGA grassroots. And Republicans did not disappoint. They showed up and they showed Crenshaw the door. Yeah, it's not just a local race. That's the MAGA base sending a very clear message to every managed opposition Republican in the country. Your time is up. I mean, unless you've got, $80 million like Cornyn to spend, we're going to take you out. So we're seeing longtime incumbents all across the ballot in Texas either losing outright or being thrown into career-threatening runoffs. But big money came in heavy at the last minute. Trump and Governor Abbott endorsed different candidates in some races, and the result was a bit of chaos for the political class. The old assumption was that Texas primaries were just sleepy coronations for whoever the donors backed. That's gone. That's not happening anymore. This is now a live battlefield where insurgent populists can knock off a Crenshaw or drag a Cornyn into a runoff, even with tens of millions of dollars in establishment spending against them. But the big question of the night is, of course, are we seeing evidence of a blue wave? Are we seeing the midterms moving solidly in the direction of the Democrats? That's exactly what we're about to find out. But first, the crypto markets, they're, shall we say, a little shaky. But this is exactly when patriots win. Let's be clear. Moments like this are unsettling, right? Prices dip, headlines scream, and the so-called experts tell everyday Americans to sit tight and do nothing. But if you studied history, really studied it, you know something crucial. Every major leap forward begins with a pullback. Crypto has never moved in straight lines. It shakes out the weak hands, and then time and time again, it surges higher, rewarding those who understand the moment they were in. This isn't chaos. This is a reset. While political dysfunction and economic uncertainty continue to rattle the system, smart patriots are doing what they've always done. They're staying calm. They're thinking long term. They're positioning themselves for the rebound. That's why so many families, including my own, are turning to Block Trust IRA, not out of panic, but out of confidence. Their Animus AI technology works around the clock, helping safeguard your assets through volatility, bank disruptions, and market whiplash. So you don't have to stare at charts all day wondering what comes next. But here's the inside line. Animus AI doesn't just play defense. It's lying in wait. It's positioned to be the very first one off the starting blocks the second the bull starts running again. And in crypto, it always runs again. This is about building resilience. This is about protecting your family's future. And yes, this is about being ready when the next move up comes, as it always has. Head on over to turleytalkscrypto.com right now and take advantage of a free $2,500 funding bonus when you get started. I've been a longtime client of Block Trust. I love them. I know you will too. Click on that link below right now. Here's one of my favorite pictures that came out from last night. Accepting applications for the Quality Layering Center. That's old man Al Green's there, too, who he appears to have lost his seat last night as well. I don't know if it's official yet, but it looks like he's gone as well. So leading up to these primaries, the legacy media spent weeks breathlessly hyping a supposed Democrat blue wave in Texas because early voting numbers for Democrats looked so strong. They told us this was proof that Texans were turning on Trump, that the Iran war and the border shutdown were going to flip the state, and the Democrats were energized like never before. But when the dust settled, what actually happened? Well, yes, Democrats turned out. Data shows Democrats outpaced Republicans in early voting by significant margins. Over 1 million Democrats voted early. That is 12% higher than Republican early turnout. Democrat participation far outpaced 2022 and 2024 presidential primary levels. And we've been seeing some analysts say that that's not good news for the Republicans. Republicans are in a heap of trouble. Democrats are fired up and Republicans are just hemming and hawing. You see, Trump is losing his base, right? There's a couple of things here, though. Again, first and foremost, there was a very high-profile Democrat primary, right? That number one. I mean, Steve Colbert got involved with it and all that sort of stuff. Number two, there appears that a number of Republicans crossed over and voted, most likely for Jasmine in the Democrat primary. You can do that in Texas. But finally, as it turns out, when all the votes were counted, the GOP turned out pretty well themselves. Again, this is for a primary. In fact, it was a higher turnout for the GOP than 2022 and 2024. And despite all the publicity around the Democrat primary, that was the Stephen Colbert hoax and all that, the Democrats, in the end, only managed to amass 30,000 more votes than the GOP, which, given the size of Texas, means nothing. It is statistically irrelevant. And the principal reason for that irrelevancy is that in Texas, primary turnout tends to be a very small, unrepresentative slice of the electorate compared to the general. And strong primary numbers for one party often do not translate into general election victories. So the basic pattern is that primaries usually draw about 20% of registered voters statewide, often closer to 10 to 15%, while general elections routinely draw 40 to 60% of registered voters, depending on whether it's a midterm or presidential year. For example, in 2018, about 52.6% of registered Texans voted in the general, versus roughly the low to mid-teens in the primaries. So it's perfectly common for the Democrats to, quote, win the primary turnout and still lose the state overwhelmingly in November. Again, for example, in 2008 and 2020, Democrat presidential primaries in Texas drew more voters than the GOP primaries. Yet, Republicans went on to carry the state in the general handily both years. And so at least when it comes to Texas, primary turnouts are a poor predictor of general election outcomes because primaries mobilize the most ideologically committed voters, while generals bring in a much broader, much more moderate electorate, which in Texas is overwhelmingly Republican. It's a Trump plus 14 state. So given that the GOP came within 30,000 votes of the Democrats' all-time high primary turnout, that doesn't bode at all very well for the Democrats in the general. So we'll obviously be keeping our eyes on how things play out for the Republican Senate runoff. But until then, Democrats still have yet to find any real hope for a blue wave. And I don't think any hope will come. If you found this video helpful, you'll love Patriot Alerts, my free daily newsletter plus weekly rack-up. Check out the link below.